You talk too much, not just with your mouth, with your reactions, with your emotions, with your need to explain yourself. Most men think power comes from being heard, from having the last word, from proving a point. It doesn't. Real power begins when you stop talking and start watching. Look around. Modern life pushes men to react to everything, every message, every insult, every opinion online, every moment of discomfort. You're expected to respond fast, to defend yourself, to show emotion, to explain who you are and why you matter. And slowly, without noticing, you give away control. Because the more you talk, the more you reveal. The more you react, the more predictable you become. Most men never see this. They confuse expression with strength. Picture a common situation. Someone disrespects you. A coworker makes a quiet comment. A partner tests your boundaries. A stranger challenges your ego. Your chest tightens. Your mind races. You feel the urge to speak, to correct, to defend, to win. Words line up in your head like weapons, and you fire them. Sometimes you raise your voice. Sometimes you explain calmly. Sometimes you joke it away. But inside, you're unsettled, because the reaction wasn't chosen. It was automatic. And deep down, you know it. This is where most men lose themselves, not in big failures, but in small reactions. They talk when silence would protect them. They explain when restraint would serve them. They react when observation would give them control. They think calm means weakness. They think silence means submission, so they keep talking. And life keeps pulling their strings. The real struggle is not external, it's internal. It's the moment between stimulus and response. That space is uncomfortable. It feels like pressure building inside your chest, like something must come out. Most men release it immediately. They don't sit with it. They don't study it. They don't question it. They obey it. And every time they do, they train themselves to be ruled by emotion. Here's the quiet truth. Silence is not empty. Silence is observant. When you stop talking, you begin to see. You see patterns in people. You see intentions behind words. You see how often others reveal themselves without saying much at all. But you can only see this when you are not busy expressing yourself. At some point, a man realizes something. Not through advice, not through motivation, through exhaustion. He notices that reacting hasn't brought peace, that explaining hasn't earned respect, that speaking hasn't made him stronger. So he pauses, not to suppress emotion, but to understand it. He lets the feeling rise without letting it control him. And for the first time, he watches instead of reacts. This is the turning point. You stop seeing silence as something you lose. You start seeing it as something you hold. You don't rush to speak. You don't rush to prove. You don't rush to correct. You let others fill the space. And in that space, truth appears. People expose their insecurities, their impatience, their need for control. You learn more by watching than you ever did by talking. There's a moment that changes a man. It happens quietly. Someone tries to provoke you. They expect a reaction. They wait for your words, and you give them nothing. Not coldness, not arrogance, just calm. Your face stays neutral. Your breath stays steady. Your mind stays clear. And something shifts, not in them, in you. You feel grounded, centered, unmoved. That's power. You realize you don't need to win arguments. You don't need to be understood by everyone. You don't need to express every thought. You only need self-respect. And self-respect grows when you act from choice, not impulse. This is where true masculinity lives. Not in dominance, not in noise, not in emotional display, but in restraint, in the ability to sit with discomfort without leaking it onto others, in the discipline to observe before acting, in the calm strength of a man who is not easily shaken. When you watch more than you speak, you become less reactive. When you become less reactive, you become less controllable. And when you are less controllable, life changes. Conflicts shrink. Drama loses its grip. Your presence carries weight without effort. People feel it, not because you say more, but because you don't. This doesn't mean becoming silent forever. It means speaking only when it matters, when your words are deliberate. When they serve a purpose, silence becomes your default. Speech becomes a tool, and like any powerful tool, you use it carefully. In the end, the lesson is simple. Strength is not in expression. It's in mastery, not mastery over others, but over yourself, over your impulses, your emotions, your need to react. Stop talking, start watching, and you'll see what most men never do.